Reiner Braun, the armored titan, warrior of Mali, and a guilt-ridden human being. Reiner's struggle of moving forward after all the murder he had committed on the island of Paradise was interesting to see, as we had been starting to view a different side of Reiner. The one who isn't a hero type person, the one who isn't a big brother to everyone, the one who is the real Reiner. The Reiner we had seen after the time skip felt sad and depressing, which probably engaged more people to look into his character a bit more after seeing the Mali arc. I myself was the same, as I was intrigued to see this other side of Reiner, which gradually made him go up my character list as I started to like him even more. So today I'll be looking into the mind of the traitor of Attack on Titan and exploring his mindset and guilt he had after his trip inside the walls. Hopefully you enjoy this video, as I will be doing more inside the mind videos, and I wish to get some support on them, as I generally like making these videos. Subscribe if you haven't, like the video, and now with no further ado, let's look into the mind of Reiner Braun. Reiner's first appearance felt as if he was trustworthy, with him listening to Eren and Armin's stories, as if he could relate to witnessing the terror of the Titans when he was that terror. Reiner and Berthold didn't seem to have any intimidating or villainous aura around them, with Reiner acting as the big brother figure to multiple of the 104th, which made the Armored and Colossal Titan reveal much more tragic and shocking than it already is. But around this time, we weren't in Reiner's point of view. We just viewed him as an enemy of humanity, someone who has sought out to put an end to humanity. But he wasn't like that. He wanted to save humanity instead. In Mali, Reiner had been influenced by his mother that all Eldians on the island of Paradise were devils and traitors that left them on Mali to suffer. Reiner had also been born of both Eldian and Mali blood, and because of the rules in Mali, Reiner wasn't able to meet his Malian father. Learning the fact that his father is a Malian, Reiner pushed himself to become a warrior so he could one day become an honorary Malian with his mother, so he could one day reunite with his father on safe terms. Reiner was weak though, only strong in his loyalty to Mali, which kept him back in grades and his competitors of being a warrior. But Marcel, another warrior candidate, had strongly influenced the army that Reiner would be a good pick for being a warrior, but he only did this in hope that his brother Porco wouldn't be in the danger of becoming a warrior. Reiner found this out on his mission to retake the Founding Titan, but moments later after that would be the end of Marcel sacrificing himself to save Reiner from getting eaten by a Titan. With Marcel gone, the one who was the leader figure of the group, Reiner felt the need of becoming the person who Marcel was. He needed to become Marcel if the group needed to succeed in their mission. This personality sort of resulted into him growing into it after he had infiltrated the walls and acting as a soldier. The personality he had gained made him be seen as who all the soldiers thought he was, but the real Reiner, the warrior Reiner, would be pushed back in his mind and come out at times when it needs to, but sometimes the soldier personality would come out at those times as well. Marco's death would be an example of Reiner's soldier personality coming out at the strangest times. He had pinned Marco down, with Annie stripping Marco of his equipment, only for the warriors to watch their quote-unquote comrade be eaten in front of their eyes, with them doing nothing but following their mission to not help any island devils. I'm sure Annie and Berthold felt a bit of guilt seeing this, but Reiner on the other hand had acted as if he had lost a long-time comrade he had fought and trained alongside for years, which was true, but he was a warrior who acted as a soldier. Annie and Berthold were lucky to not turn out like Reiner, as Annie had avoided the other 104th cadets, while Berthold was a quiet one and didn't turn out as talkative as Reiner was. Reiner just had two separate personalities operating at different times without him even knowing, except Berthold, who caught onto it. This was one of the really sad parts of Reiner's life, as he had believed on one side of his mind that he was generally a soldier who trusts the Eldians in the walls, even though he was brainwashed to hate all of them and hoped to eliminate them all. Reiner's life after returning to Mali after failing his mission of retrieving the Founding Titan is really sad to see. All the guilt that had been bottled up inside of him for years is finally seen in this arc. His mental health becomes unstable and has taken a toll on him. This is seen in his attempt of suicide after remembering the acts he had done on the island. Reiner wanted to vanish. He didn't want to live with the guilt that he had. He was suffering in the aftermath, which made him take out a gun on himself. In the Eren encounter as well, he had told Eren the real truth about his motives of wanting to become a so-called hero. The part where Marcel was eaten, the warriors wanted to return back to Mali since they can't go on like this, but Reiner wanted to stay and act like Marcel while wanting to become the hero to save Mali as well. Reiner also understood that it wasn't just Mali's environment that changed him into this way, but it was himself that pushed him to commit these acts. It was himself that killed Eren's mother. Reiner had admitted this to Eren whilst he was suffering in anguish, but Reiner's conclusion to the suffering and suicidal mindset wouldn't come to an end as death, but to protect and care about the next generation of warriors. This was first seen when he stopped the gun from firing, when he remembered about the next warriors. Also in the Eren encounter, Reiner went out of his way to save Falco, even though Reiner had given up on himself at that point. So in this perspective, that if Reiner thinks that he has given up on himself, he shouldn't give up on the other trusted people around him. Even though Reiner is broken and has no hope for his future, he should pave the next generation's way of their future and not his. I generally think that's how Reiner's mindset is currently at, while it's still a broken one, as he doesn't really care about himself all too much anymore. He has no hope of becoming the hero he wanted to be. He has no hope of seeing his father again, but he has hope for the next generation of warriors to become successful, especially Falco and his cousin Gabi. Now, in the current chapters of Attack on Titan, Reiner has pretty much been the same way he was at the start of the Mali arc. He still believes he's a worthless man, but continues to push on to stop Eren with his new alliance. When Reiner first joined this alliance, he still felt kind of guilty once Yelena brought up Marco. John had hit Reiner when Reiner kept saying sorry, as he didn't want to see his friend's murderer apologizing to him. Reiner understood this and didn't ask for forgiveness. Many chapters after this, John would actually end up saving Reiner from falling to his death in chapter 135. And Reiner actually accepted this and didn't want to vanish that much anymore, but still was a bit reluctant to before. John also gives Reiner hope to keep on fighting to the bitter end instead of accepting defeat, even though it looks like the Alliance has no chance of winning in their fight against Eren's Founding Titan. So it seems Reiner has progressed over these arcs, actually not wanting to give up and still fight to the bitter end thanks to John's words and the Alliance helping him out as well. What I think would happen for Reiner, or what I hope would happen for him in the later chapters and the ending of Attack on Titan, would be that he eventually does become the hero that he had dreamed to be when he was younger, but this time with a better motive. I hope that Reiner could at least be that Helos figure to Mali, and this time the real Helos, as it could be a nice conclusion to his character. Also him accepting himself and having hope in his power to become a hero. Another outcome would be that he dies in the later chapters, yet he does something highly important to the Alliance so they could win in some way, which would be a slightly nice ending to his character as well. With that being said, hopefully you enjoyed this video, and if you did, I'll do a lot more of these kinds of videos in the future. Also, since I kind of missed out talking about Eren and Reiner's dynamic, I'll probably do that more in the Eren video I'll probably do in the future as well. So subscribe if you're new, hit the like button and turn on bell notifications. It's been Endless Requiem, peace.